Hi, my name is Ronald McKeithen. I'm from Birmingham, Alabama. And to me, voting is so essential. Voting means power. Voting means having a voice. Voting means making a decision on what goes on in your community, in Washington, but mainly your community. It gives you the power to make certain decisions and put certain people in your community that's going to help you. And if you don't have that power, then you allow people to just control your life. And what I regret is that so many people, particularly in my communities, is not aware of the importance of it. They feel that their votes don't count. They feel if they go and vote that they're still going to put in office who they want. But they're so wrong. Numbers is power. And if you increase your numbers, you have more power. And I'm blessed to be able to vote. I am directly impacted. To be honest with you, every Black individual in the US is directly impacted because that's what's lacking. Knowledge of the power of voting. And yes, I'm very much impacted, and everybody in my community will be impacted. In fact, everybody I know will be impacted by it. And most often, they don't even know how much impacted they are. I've witnessed the results of bad politics. I've witnessed the results of when you allow others to dictate or make rules without you having to say so. I did 37 years in prison, and it gave me opportunity to look outside the box, to step out and just really look in and see what was going on. And I was really disappointed with what was going on in government. In Montgomery, the decisions that was being made is as if people just didn't care what we had to say. I have a voice, and I wanted to be heard. I love my community. I want growth in my community. It's just so much I see that I want to change and be better. And the only way that I could do this is to have a voice. To be able to vote and say, I want this person in office because I believe in his politics. I believe that he's going to really help us. And I enjoy having that power. I went to prison at a young age. When I was 21, I did 37 years. And while in prison, I wasn't allowed to vote. In fact, my voting rights were taken from me when I got my first felony case. But while in prison, I had the opportunity to sit down and be still and just pay attention to what was going on with politics. I finally first got involved with really paying attention to things is when Clinton was campaigning, and even more so involved with Obama. But while in prison, the thought of being able to vote never crossed my mind because I knew that I lost that. And we would have all kind of political conversations, but it would never come to us being able to vote. I always thought that I would have to get out and encourage others to do it because they still had the power to do it, to try to help someone campaign, because even then I knew that I wanted to be a part of a change. But almost 40 years, I haven't been able to vote. Nearly 40 years. Voting rights is important to me because it gives me a voice and it gives me power. And I feel that if the neighborhood I lived in and grew up in, if everybody in that neighborhood was voting, had the power to vote and actually voted, Titusville wouldn't look like it do today. It wouldn't look so discarded. And when you don't care about voting rights, if you don't get involved in the political process or use your voice for the growth of your community, your environment, you will sit back and watch it just go down. You will sit back and watch money that's supposed to be going to your your schools, your kindergartens, or your community go somewhere else because you're not making a voice saying, "Hey, we need this," and by right, you're supposed to give it to us. God, I'm just happy that I'm able to vote. I'm just happy that it was a blessing that when I got out of prison, I met someone that was able to open the door for me to get my voting rights back. Yes, I had to apply for one. Well, a friend of mine applied for it. The whole process was handled by Dory. She's been instrumental in getting a number of guys voting rights back, particularly that have been in prison. And it was accessible. The difficulties that she had, she's familiar with it and she loves it. She thrives on it. And I got to admit, I was shocked that when she told me that I would be able to get my voting rights back. I was shocked that when I went to get my card and to hold it up and get a picture, it made me feel real great to stand in front of City Hall to have my voting rights back. It was like becoming a citizen again. All right, because when you're a black ex-con with a record, you don't really feel like a citizen because so many things have been blocked away from you. You got to struggle more to just survive. But to get my voting rights back, it's like I feel like I'm back. That I have been properly reintroduced to society, and now I have a voice to where I can make decisions and be an example for others. No, fines and fees do not affect me, but I know a number of people that uh, that has happened to. Not just with getting your voting rights back, getting driver's license, some of everything. There's a bill that my organization is trying to push through Alabama Appleseed, so that when a person, say, comes out of prison, comes out of jail, that a 6-month delay be placed on them having to pay any kind of fines to give them opportunity to get themselves together. As for voting rights, I believe that it seems like this is just another tactic to try to just, keep as less people voting as possible, because the majority of the people that got a lot of fines and owe money, they're poor, they're struggling, they're probably living check to check, single mothers, and they need to be able to vote. But I wish that we can do away with having to pay fines before you can get your voting rights back, but that's the way the world is right now, and I regret it. Yes, I agree with the bill, because so much has been done over the years to chop down voting rights. It seemed like they're putting more effort in making it more difficult for a person to vote than to open the door or even teach them. Every time I look up, it's some new rule that's keeping people from really just exercising their rights. And it's not right. It's the same thing's been going on for years, for centuries, but just done with a little more style or class now, I guess. Having my voting rights, it makes me feel that I matter. It gives me a sense of worth, inspires me to speak out, to be a part of people in groups that's trying to make a change. People used to always complain to me about things, guys, about doing this and doing this and doing that. They're not doing this now. And one of my main things I used to like to ask them is, what are you doing? And usually that questionnaire would like make them stop, and they would have to say, well, I ain't doing nothing. So, okay, well, why are you complaining? Me, I don't just like to complain. I like to come up with solutions and then activate the solutions. But now that I got the power to vote, I can get in an arena with people that are executing the solutions. I can get in an arena and have a voice and like, hey, I matter too. And my background even shows you how much I matter, because I've been through it. And right now I see the changes we need, because it's changes that I needed, been needing all my life. Because I didn't have them, it played a horrible part in my life. I work for Alabama Appleseed. It's an advocacy organization that try to do away with laws that are unjust and create laws that would be more just. And one of the things they do is, well, was RISD wasn't the thing they really prepared to do. It wasn't really doing at the beginning, but reentry. So far, they have freed 6 men that were incarcerated for decades under Habitual Offenders Act, life without parole, and hadn't killed, raped, or touched anyone. I was one of them individuals. I've been locked up for 37 years, and then they realized that I didn't need to be there any longer. People that was coming in noticed me. And this organization, when I got out, they noticed me too, and they hired me to be the reentry coordinator. So now I deal with other guys when they get out of prison, helping them get all the information they need, from the driver's license, social security card. You would be surprised that when a guy leaves prison and been there for decades, nearly 40 decades, they don't have any paperwork. They don't have nothing. And they have to be slowly blended back in society. But what I love is when I can call, or somebody from prison call me and they say they saw this, to say that city, I make them proud. Because a lot of them in prison, they know they're not getting out of prison. They know they're going to die in there. I thought I was going to die in there. But for somebody that was sitting or laying next to them or eating at the same table that posed to die with them, to be out, talking about them and what they're going through and how much they need some support or something that makes them just, hey, they'll die with a smile. You know, that's all we want. We just wanted somebody to notice us and notice our voice and notice our pain. And somebody did. And I'm blessed to be working for the organization that's saving lives, because they saved mine. What's so beautiful about it, in the process of getting all this information for these guys, and the more when they get, the more things they put into place, paperwork, they feel more empowered. And I would say that the last thing that we've been able to do, which also was able to do for me, was get the voting rights back. And you got to understand that when you're in prison and the way you're talked to, treated, just, I mean, constant every day, it's like you feel so unempowered. You feel so like they can make you feel like dust, like dust on the chessboard. You're not even a piece on the chessboard anymore. But to come out, to have your life, of be given a second chance, not just to live a wonderful life, but to be able to vote. I mean, like, it's like them taking the shackles off, you know? And it's so important that we restore the voice, because there's so many people that has things to say but are not heard, and they don't have the proper platform to be heard. And restore the voice, this is the platform. To restore this votes, that would give people that power to have something to say. And I'm so proud and happy to just be able to share something that would encourage somebody else too, because regardless of the struggles you go through and getting it, because I'm telling you, it's hard to, especially in this COVID age, it's hard to reach certain offices. It's hard to get people on the phone, but you got to be determined. You can't give up, because sometimes it may seem that these barriers are placed there to make you give up, especially when it comes to voting. These barriers are there to make you not want to stand in line that long, not want to wait on the phone hearing that sound and stuff. But if you knew the importance of it, if you knew the power it give you, if you knew the change you can make with these voting rights, you would stay there for an hour or two, listen to that elevator music, or trying to get in this office or that office, or trying to get this paper, get this signed. But once you get it done, the sense of accomplishment, the sense of worth that gives you, just to be able to say, hey, I can vote. I got a voice. Restore the voice.